that when their daughters come home from this camp, they're amazed. Their daughters never made a bed before, and they never washed dishes. Now they just get out and do it and don't have to be told.
Oh, Mr. Armstrong. Welcome to the canoeing area.
Excuse me, could you move?
They're learning all the parts of the canoe. Go ahead with the class. Okay. Okay, girls, let's go over once again what this is called. Ready? What's this called? Grip. What's this called? Shaft. The throat. The blade. Or the tip. Okay. Steer.
Gets more momentum on it.
It goes real fast.
They do.
All right. Okay.
Before leaving the summer camp, he always takes time to talk with the campers and staff in the gymnasium.
Well, greetings, young pioneers. I might say young ambassadors. And all the staff and all the faculty. Have you been learning anything here so far? Let me remind you that when you were born, you didn't know anything. And you began to learn. You were born with a mind that was capable of receiving a lot of knowledge and coming to know a lot of things, but it didn't know anything yet. It was a mind unfilled with knowledge. I would like you to know something about who and what you are and what lies ahead for you, what opportunities or what is going to happen to you a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. Where will you be 10 years? Where will you be 20 years or 100 years from now? You need to think about that a little bit. You never stop learning. So many people think education is something you go to school and get an education and you don't learn anymore. Oh, poppycock. You have to keep learning as long as you live. And all of you young people are called, and you have that chance. And the people of the world, you young children are different from the people in the world, in that God has made it possible for you to come to Him. And Jesus said, no man can come to me except the Father which sent me draws him. But the Father is drawing all of you. Think of that. I want to leave that message with you.
In the years since the first congregation met at the Jeans Schoolhouse, the church has grown many times over. In the United States alone, there are today nearly 400 congregations. The many details of coordinating the churches are supervised by the Ministerial Services Office. Here, a small staff distributes materials to the field ministers and assists them in the 1,001 details that go into maintaining a local church. The Ministerial Services team analyzes the big picture, coordinating the planning of Bible studies and churches. Directing the Ministerial Services Office is Mr. Joe Tkach. Mr. Tkach reports regularly to Mr. Armstrong on all matters relating to the churches and their pastors.
How are things going in the ministry?
Oh, just fine, as well as could be expected. That's what I wanted to talk about this morning here with you. Wanted to cover the men who are presently in on the 8th refreshing program.
Mr. Tkach coordinates the ministerial refreshing program. About 35 ministers and their wives travel to Pasadena for each 2-week session.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most important things in the work are these refresher courses for the ministers.
Right.
Get them in here. I get wonderful reports, and I only get to go over and talk to them for a couple of hours. And, you know, in the field of medicine, if a doctor doesn't keep up with his medical journals and new medical knowledge and all that sort of thing, he's outnumbered and just a thing of the past inside of 5 years.
That's true.
Well, it's the same way in God's work and in the ministry.
The refresher program has proved invaluable in helping the ministry to speak with one voice so that the church worldwide can grow in unity. While at Pasadena, they are also updated on all aspects of the growth and progress of the work worldwide. Mr. Armstrong takes one afternoon of each session to speak with the ministers personally.
In the Great Commission, Jesus said, "Go ye therefore, all power has been given to me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them into the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I've commanded you." To observe, that means to do. It's a way of life. And what did he command them? The law of God. Think not I've come to destroy the law. I've kept my Father's commandments. You go and teach them to do what I've commanded you. Today, God had me, and through me, raised up Ambassador College. And out of one of the 3 campuses of Ambassador College, most of you have come to teach you, to go out, and you are now teaching the people under you. And they are studying under you just as the apostles studied under Christ. And they themselves are going to have to teach in the millennium.
The refresher program reminds the ministry of the seriousness of their calling and the importance of the churches in their care. From information sent in by the ministers around the world, the Ministerial Services staff compiles reports to maintain an accurate picture of the growth and progress of the congregations wherever they may be.
Well, we have some of the statistics right here.
This is good. I'm glad to see this report.
Yes, it gives a
375 churches in the United States, Canada.
68 churches. That's just in the English
In the
speaking.
English language, 68 churches. In the French language, 6 churches.
Right.
In Canada.
And in Australia, you have
Australia,
42.
42. The Philippines, 29 different churches. By the way, I just had a long-distance call from Mr. Waterhouse. And he's going to be here in a couple of weeks. And he tells me that in all the church, he's visiting a different church every day, just about 7 days a week. And he says that the PMs, that is, prospective member requests, are coming in, and the ministers everywhere are interviewing more people that are interested in talking about baptism.
Unlike most ministers who are assigned to pastor 1 or 2 congregations for several years, Mr. Gerald Waterhouse travels many thousands of miles each year, visiting the local congregations. Mr. Waterhouse is a well-known figure to ministers and brethren in all parts of the world.